Okay, guys. Welcome to the call, by the way. I'm not sure who's members or not members. I do this call every Monday, just to answer any questions people might have, just to educate people on how I look at the market personally. I'm not sure what everyone's trading experience is when it comes to trading. Me personally, I think we all have had a journey when it comes to trading. Everyone's had their own personal lessons. Me personally, just gonna give you my background. I started off maybe 8 years ago on trading, and I've learned super simple strategies and the most overcomplicated strategies in the world. And honestly, one thing I realized is that it doesn't really matter what your strategy is. It does matter because you want to look at certain things, but it's not as important as risk to reward and risk per trade. The strategy itself is still important because you want to know your entries and you want to be consistent. But what I've seen people do is look at trades or trade whatever strategy they have, and as soon as they lose three or four trades, they go and restudy. And then they've been studying for 5 years for just the time when they should enter a trade to win 99% of the time, which just isn't a realistic way of trying to make a career out of trading. Like, imagine you have to be perfect at your career to be a professional. That if you say it out loud, that doesn't even make any sense. So I kind of focus on my trading when it comes to trading as I look at the entry still, but I still focus more on my risk reward and risk per trade. So I'm going to introduce you guys first to the indicator that I use, and then I'll show you how the automation I use. It pretty much automates this indicator for you. Not completely. They're not identical, but they're close when it comes to the strategy. There's a lot of other factors that come into the automation. So a little bit about this indicator, guys. It's called the Prodigy um, indicator. It basically tells you when you should buy and when you should sell in the market. I got full training on how to use it. I have two different type of setups that I use with this. So, and I always tell people you can kind of choose which one. So, for example, let me see which one is this one. I believe this is like the all day setup. Yeah. So, like for example, with this setup, it doesn't call a lot of trades, but it's really good for people who like want to swing trade. So, like for example, it called a sell, and you could have held it till it called a buy. Then when it called a buy, you could have held it all the way to a call to sell. If that's the type of trade you want to be, then call the buy. You could have closed it right here, and you can literally just ping pong. And this is not the type of indicator. I've seen indicators where they'll alert you with a buy, but the market would be somewhere right here, which is silly to me. But no, this is literally where they call the actual signal. Like exactly where you see the candle is where the signal is called. So as you can see, it's super, super accurate. Now, another way I like to trade this is I just have it just call the trades during New York session. So if you're like the type of person that want to only get signals during New York session, then you're good to go also. But personally, I just have them both on at the same time. So as far as knowing which direction, it's super simple, buy or sell, super simple. There's one other way I trade with it, and I'm gonna show you that in a minute. But first, I kind of want to focus on the buy and sells. So let's look at this buy, for example. When the market's going up or down, just for example, let's look at this. Let's just take the indicator off. The market's always doing this. It's always creating lower lows, lower highs, for example, lower lows, lower highs. And this is like pretty much the basic thing the market always does for a sell trend until it breaks this area right here. When it breaks that area, that's a confirmation that the market's probably going to reverse. I think that's what everyone knows, but I just like to bring it up. And then the same thing for buy. The market's trending up, then trending down, which is a higher low, lower high, no, higher high, higher low, and it's trending up higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, until, for example, it breaks structure. Like for example, it did this, came up. This was the last structure before it went up. It broke it. So we can potentially be looking for now going down. Now, doesn't mean you're going to take the trade, but it just tells you you have a general direction of where the market's going. Let me know, does that make sense? Y'all can use your mics or chat box, doesn't matter, but does that make sense? I know that's pretty basic stuff for most people, but I don't like to assume. But does everyone understand that? You can use the chat box or you can use the Yes, it makes sense. Cool, cool, cool. All right, cool. So, how I like to use it with the Prodigy, very, very simple. Let's just use this as an example. If I see the market creating higher highs and higher lows at the time that it calls this buy, I'm just going to take the buy. That's it. It's that's literally the strategy for buy. So if it's trending up and down, higher high, higher lows, if I can just draw it out like this and it caught that buy, and as you can see, it easily won that trade. Now let's do an example of a sell. If I can draw out higher highs and higher lows, or lower highs and lower lows, and the moment it took that trade, it caught that sell, and I see this, I take the sell. And it wins very often. And you can go for one to twos with this. So it's not you don't have to win every trade. You can win 40% of the time, but the indicator is like I would say 80, 85% accurate. Now, remember I told you reversals, right? Let's look at I'm gonna give you an example. The market was trending down, as we can see. And yes, you could have took this sell here and made some money. Most people wouldn't have took this buy because they see a trend sell up. But if you remember, if it breaks that, then it caught that buy like that. Now, some people probably want to take this stop loss all the way down here. I like to use my stop loss for structure, so I'd like put it below the candle or some type of structure. It's kind of I don't want to spend too much time on that one for this particular training, but you can go for like your one to twos on this also, and it's still one. So the indicator is really, really simple to use. Um, Sells is trending down or it broke structure for a sell against a buy, or for a buy it's trending up, or like again with this example, it broke structure, then continued up. Super, super simple. Now, I have the indicator and I have an automation version. There's pros and cons to both. I would say the pro to an indicator, you have more control of your trade, obviously, because you're either going to take the trade or not take the trade. The bot's not going to probably see this type of move, like it's looking at higher highs and higher lows as good as you would. So those are the benefits. I would say the biggest benefit of the automation is it's completely hands-free. So I would say you can use both. Obviously, you don't have I would you can trade on the same account. Personally, I would just let the automation do its own thing on one account and trade the indicator with a totally different account. Maybe you want to trade prop firms and so forth. Now, I got full training on how to set up this particular setup and this particular setup, but I have something called the all-day setup. And so the all-day setup, again, it calls from sell to buy, sell to buy, sell to buy. Next thing is going to be a sell. Then we have the New York session setup where it just calls multiple sells, multiple buys, only doing the New York session. Now, I personally keep both of them on. But for the all day setup, you can do additional entries. So I'm going to teach you that one more thing on this, and then we're going to go into the automation and let you guys have questions. So remember, when it calls sell to buy, we're looking, this is a sell. You can get into additional entries with the sell. So for example, when it calls a sell, I might have already got into this trade, right? I was got in the trade. I could have put my stop loss somewhere right here or right here. Regardless of what we would have did, we could have went for a one to two, one to three, one to five. We would have won it regardless of what we chose. But let's just say we did one. Let's say we did one to three, just to, for the sake of argument. So we got a one to three trade. Actually, let's do one to two. I know a lot of guys ain't patient. So we're gonna do one to two. Cool. We in that trade. The next trade don't happen to right here. That's a long time to wait unless you're using, the all day signal and it's still in. And this is kind of rare when it doesn't just take a trade, call a trade at all. As you can see, it calls, but it can happen. As you can see, this could have been like a whole week. Which me personally, I'm very patient, so I don't be caring if it don't call a week. I just take that as a break. But let's say you don't want to wait that long. When it calls a sale prior, doing the all day setup, we're going to take out the New York session setup, doing the all day setup. Whenever it calls a yellow to red, you can also get back in again. But you ignore any yellow to greens doing a prior sell. So call the sell here, call the yellow to green here. I ignore it. for a buy. Yellow to red, I take that trade, it dropped. Yellow to red, I took this trade, it dropped. Yellow to green, you took this trade, you would have lost, but we wouldn't have took that trade because the last signal was a sell. So this gives you like additional entries. Then we got the yellow. We did get yellow to green. And look, you're going to miss out on trades sometimes. They call it yellow to green here. You would have won that trade. But if you follow the rules, you wouldn't have took that trade. Now, if you're doing other reasons for entry, maybe you saw that, hey, it broke this structure and you just want to trade structure, I totally get it. Then that would make sense. But if you're just doing it because you want to get every trade, just make it make sense if you're going to trade the yellow to green outside of this information here. Now, it called a buy. We would have won that trade. Easily, easy 1 to 2. And again, we could have got more trades if we had the New York session on, but let's just say that we only had the all day signals on. Then I wait this time, I ignore yellow to reds, and I only get on the yellow to greens. So I could have gotten right here. I could have gotten right here, or I could have gotten right here, another yellow to green right here. I would ignore this yellow to red here. I also would ignore, I did not mean to put that there. This yellow to red here. I would have gotten this yellow to green right here. And I would ignore this yellow to red and this yellow to red. And yes, this would have won, but all these other yellow to reds would have lost. So I kept it simple, indicated very simple. You have 3 ways you can get in. You can get in based off of just the New York, the all-day setup where it just calls buy and sell. You can do New York only. You can do both. And then whenever it calls a yellow to green, you just look at the all day and say, okay, cool. It was a sell prior, pick your sells. So you got 30 different setups. You can get more out the trade. So if you wanted to, you can have it call a bunch of signals. So I'll show you what it looks like with no filters at all. I don't like it like this because it's way too many signals personally. So I got people who trade like this, and it's fine if you want to and you want to just look at market structure. I just am a less is more type of person. So I don't even really teach people how to trade like that. I just keep it simple. New York session only, all day setup only, or both, plus the yellow, the green, yellow, the red. Now, do anyone have any questions about the indicator before we go to the automation? Okay, you can open your mics. Y'all can just open your mics anytime. I'm done talking now. So y'all can open your mics.
Okay, so I'm on my trading view right now,
Okay.
and I just signed up to be a member,
Okay.
uh, but I don't see it in there. How do I make sure that it's in there?
Oh, so you don't see the project? Did you go through the WAP system yet and add everything?
I thought I did because it asked my personal. It asked for the trading view account.
Yeah. So when you added it, go to indicators and look for invited
Mhm.
scripts.
Look for what?
Invited scripts, like on my screen.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, there it is.
Yep. And
So
then
then
just
I.
I'm going to show you what a training is for it too. So when you go to library, you go to training, Forex and products, you go to Prodigy indicator. It teaches you how to add it, and though I just showed you that, and then it teaches you this is a short 1 minute video, and then the real video is the detailed video. So basically, what I just went over now, I go in a little bit more detail, like how to put your stop loss, take profit, market structure, so forth. 45, 38-minute video, but it gives you everything you need to know.
Okay, that's probably what I need to do then.
Yep, yep. Cool. Any other questions?
Yes. So where it talks about how you can go back if you can go back to the other screen. Yeah. So how would outside of that, I'm guessing it's in that training where it says you were saying not to take yellow to what was it, green to red or yellow to you were saying take we know that we're going to take this one, but we're not going to take that one.
Okay.
How would we know? Yeah.
Okay, so for example, so there are 2 ways you set the automation, the indicator, and I go over that in the training. But so there's one called the New York session only. New York session where it only calls New York, right? Like this one.
Mhm.
So it can call like a buy here and another buy here before it even calls a sell. So it doesn't have to wait for a buy or sell. This one I call the all day setup because it doesn't call and it calls a buy and it won't call another buy until sell. So basically, everything that happens between here, you're just looking for buys. And when it comes to
mm
sell, everything in between, you're looking for sales. Yellow to green is for
mm
buys. yellow to red is for sales. So if I know on my last signal for my all day setup was a sell, I'm only looking for yellow to reds for those sales.
Mm.
And it's like, even though I
So
got
ba
yellow green, I'm not gonna take it because the last signal was a sell.
so basically, when there's a downtrend, it's only going to cause sales.
Well, I always tell people that's relative kind of because, you know, yes, it is a downtrend, but when does the downtrend start? When does it end, right? But I always tell people you just look at the last sell. Usually that means that the market is trending down. So yellow, it might, I'm not saying it's perfect like that all the time, but most of the time it is. So sell here, cool. Now, if a yellow to red, let's say I missed this sell and the yellow to red happens here, I just get it right here. Or I could get a guy, but look at this, yellow to green. But I wouldn't have gotten this trade because the last signal was a sell.
Mm.
Yellow, I would have gotten this trade. And I'm not saying you always gonna get in every yellow to red trade. You still want to use, like for example, let's do it like this. Let's look at this. So for example, we do a market structure. This broke. It called it yellow to red, but I'm not getting this yellow to red because this structure broke.
Right.
I'm still gonna use structure to go with the yellow to red. I'm just using this also to influence. This sell plus a move down, cool, yellow to reds. Now buys, yellow to greens. Boom, yellow to green, yellow to green, yellow to green. And then still going up. And then right now, it's starting to break structure. And it could be going continue on up and go up. I'm not doing anything until I actually see a sell signal before I do any sales now. But
Mm.
yeah, it's that simple though. It's a pretty simple indicator. And like I said, I got full training on how it works right here.
Okay.
Cool, cool. So, anyone else have any questions about this? Y'all can open your mics up or use the chat box, whatever, you're comfortable with. If not, I'll move on to the automation. Cool. So, guess we'll go with automation then. All right. So, I'm going to go into one of my dummy automations. So, I wanted to first talk about different type of automations, right? So, y'all can let me know in the chat box um if you've used, of course, some of you guys who've already been in the company with me knows what this is. But there are two type of automations when it comes to Forex. There are recovery softwares, and then there are stop loss software. So I'll kind of tell you the difference. With a recovery, how it works, and sometimes most people don't know that their software is doing recovery. They just think it's just looking for trading opportunities and it's really high volume. But 99% of the time, it's just recovery. And so how recovery works is this. A recovery software will look for a buy sell signal as usual. And then once it starts losing, it doesn't use a stop loss. It's just once it starts losing, it doesn't look for new trading opportunities. What it does is it starts trying to recover that losing trade and try to win it. And sometimes it might get it on the first try, second try, or third try, or it might try the 10th try. And that's where it gets scary, right? And a lot of people ask me, like, hey, man, like, how much drawdown would it get into? I was like, well, for recovery, you never really know. It just depends, right? Because here's the thing. Who's ever taken a trade themselves and then they never use a stop loss and they just took one trade and they're just hoping it's going to turn around and praying that it's going to turn around because they over leveraged. They probably did the silliest trade in the world. They didn't even have any. Now they just wish they can just go back to break even. Now imagine the bot doing that, but 10 times worse because it's trying to recover. So recovery trades do work because you can win a lot, but it takes more management. Like a lot of people got to manage around news. They got to hope that it news don't hit because you want to do anything that's not gonna that can go super in drawdown and blow your account because. And I'm going to show you an example of what a recovery does in a minute because I do got recovery softwares I give people. I just don't train on them anymore. Those are some of my original designs from back in the day. So, and I took a lot longer to make a stop loss software because stop loss software is a lot harder to make. So with the stop loss, let's kind of talk about that. There are different type of stop loss bots too. And there are always different type of recovery bots. Every recovery bot trades different. Some of them do martingale. Some of them they'll double your account they'll double the lot size every time. Those are the worst. But then we got the stop loss bots. So the stop loss bots, every stop loss bot is different. There are some software automations that have a 10 pip take profit, 100 pip stop loss. And so it wins a lot. But with winning a lot, it takes one loss for taking. Some of them might do a 2-to-1 where it's risking $20 to make $10, or it's risking $30 to make $10 or whatever. So then there are stop loss bots that are a little harder to make, that lose more often than most bots. That go for 1 to 2, 1 to 3. Meaning they're risking $10 to make $20. They're risking $10 to make $30. They're risking $10 to make $50. A lot of people don't see the value in those bots because they don't see the value in risk reward and risk per trade. So they look more for high frequency and how often it wins versus how it loses and how it wins. And the how is a big difference. A lot of people don't understand that how is the reason that you've been looking for your trading strategy or this holy grail automation to work for you because you're not looking at the how and you're looking at how often. So I'll kind of give you an example. We're gonna look at two examples. I'm gonna show you these two examples for one. So I'll use this is a back test of Prodigy, right? And I just did it from November to December. So basically like 30 days and some change. So I had it risking 2% of trade. So what that means is that every time it lost starting at your $2,000 balance, it would lose a trade or win a trade. So for example, some people would have seen the bot lose 3 trades in a row and it was like, hey, is my bot broken? Because it lost 3 trades as if they've been not trading 10 years and still have not drawn an account or they've blown 10 accounts. All right. It's not realistic to win every trade. And so I always tell people, if you're looking for this 99% win rate, you're either going to be like I had a guy actually, he told me, he was like, hey, bro, you got signals? I said, why? I said, yeah, kind of. I don't really advocate for signals, even though I have it. I said, yeah. He said, yeah, I'm looking for signals, but I have a 99% win rate. And that never makes sense to me. I'm like, why do you need signals if you're, even though I always, when I hear people say you got a 99% win rate, I think that just sounds funny to me because I'm like, there's no such thing. But sure, why not? That's entertaining. And he was like, yeah, yeah, but it only takes me that one trade to lose all my money. And so it's not a 99% win rate, that's a 100% lose rate. That's not how and so that's how a lot of people trade though. They like just go hard or go home. Like it's crazy to me. So I tell people there are three factors of trading. There's when you enter for buy or sell, there's a 1 to 2 risk reward, and then there's risk per trade. How much are you risking when you take that trade? Because a lot of people ask me, hey, what should my lot size be when I trade sell a Prodigy, or when I'm copying and pasting signals, or when I'm taking my trade on $1,000 account? And I said, your lot size isn't determined by your balance. It's determined by your stop loss position and what you want to risk on that trade. So you adjust your lot size to fit that stop loss. So if my stop loss is 30 pips and I want to risk 1%, and I have a $5,000 account, I need to pick a lot size to make sure I lose that much money. So I'll give you a personal example. This trade, these 3 trades, this trade right here lost $45 with 0.29. This trade lost pretty much around the same thing with a 0.7. My point is that it adjusts the lot size because each stop loss is different. Same balance, different stop loss, different lot size. And I just say this because I want you to understand this is how you should trade in real life also. So with Prodigy, the default settings, and you can do your own settings, and I'll kind of go over that in a minute. It goes for a 1 to 2 risk reward by default settings. If you use my settings, then my recommended settings, 1 to 2. So if you look at it, lost $45, lost $30, lost $28, then at 172, at 176, at 178. So it can go on winning streaks and it can also go on losing streaks. So if you just join and you lose 3 trades in a row, do not panic, please. Do not email me talking about Brandon. Oh my God. Like, look, if you check the bot to lose 1%, if you lost 3 trades in a row, you lost 3%. I promise you, you'll be okay losing 3% in your account. So as you can see, it lost some trades, it won some trades. And then it lost that trade, won some trades. And I really hate this example because I really wanted to lose more than it won. Because I be wanting people to see losses more, just because I want them to understand losing is okay. So this is a terrible example, but I can't change what results are. But that's just and I'm gonna show you a back test in a minute. But as you can see, it made $700. It didn't take that many trades. It took maybe one, two, three, four. It didn't take that many trades. It took a decent amount, maybe like 10, 15 trades, whatever, between November 1st and December 26th. I don't know how many trades it took, but it took a decent amount. I don't really know how many. Now, it made 700 bucks. Your account balance is 2,000. You only risk 2% per trade, and you're still able to make $700. That's pretty good money. That's like what? I don't know if I done the math, but that's pretty good. So, and imagine this: if you did 3% per trade, or 4% a trade, or 5% a trade, and so we'll go over that in a minute. But I wanted to go over my other example. So this is one of my earlier ones, right? This is one I got this bot. You got access to it. I don't recommend it, but this is called the pit machine. I did the same exact time from November to well December 27th, whatever. So it got a little bit more data. They made about the same amount of money. So yes, they made the same amount of money. This one it was a $2,000 balance, as you can see, and it traded way more. And it started with a 0.01, but this is the recovery I was talking about. If it starts losing, so I'm going to give you an example of how recovery looks, and then we'll go over stop loss. But I just this is what gives people headaches. So the recovery bots help you win a lot, but they can get in drawdown also, right? And so we just look at tip machine, for example. It's a perfect uh, example. As you can see, it has no stop loss. And how pip machine works is it goes for this yellow line for it to close out in profit. So it made $1. Now, how recovery bots usually make this most money is based off of it recovering trades. So it doesn't make that much money off the initial trade, but if it can lose and then win the trade, and it can like see now there it goes. It makes new trades for you to, and then if it doesn't hit the take profit, it keeps taking new trades. So if we look at the results, it's taking new trades and it finally won. So let's see, it won $5, $6, did a negative $7. So a lot of people like bots like this. Well, this is how they're used to because they want to see they like to see volume, they like to see a lot of trades. They get anxiety, they don't see a trade for whatever reason. And it's crazy because I be thinking, I'm like, what's the point of going for automation if you have to look at it all damn day because you guys just see a trade out? Like, what difference does it make if it took a trade? You're not even doing anything, so who cares if it took a trade or not? Just let it do its thing. As long as you know what it can do is the only thing that matters. I don't know if it's going to take a trade this week because of what is it? It's so much stuff going on this week, New Year's and bank stuff and all this other stuff. So who knows if it's going to take a trade? So, but I'm saying, what's I can make? Can I make this thing faster? Let's see. No, that's the one the fastest it can. But I'm going to. I want you to see, like, as you can see, it's winning, right? And it took a whole bunch of trades from the fourth to the seventh. It already probably took more trades than Prodigy. But I'm going to show you. I want to show you, like, I'm waiting to see if it can go into drawdown real quick. Unfortunately, it hasn't yet, but I'm sure it will soon. And when it go like for example, now this is when people start getting like anxiety, right? Not around this point, but imagine instead of these four trades that's open and it's trying to recover that trade, and as you can see, it's trying to recover the trades and make $8 on that trade. Imagine you got 10, 20 trades open because the market just tanked from here all the way down, and you're waiting for the market to recover your trade. And so that can what can happen with Prodigy, not even Prodigy, my bad, with Pip Machine or many other recovery softwares where they do win a lot and they be doing this thing. But let's see if we can finally see an example. I just want to show you one example, but then keep on winning. It's annoying. All right, there we go. So look at this for example. It's taking the trades. It has to hit that yellow line, and it's moving to take profit as it's bringing up the lot size. So it went from 0.01, 0.02, another 0.02, and each lot size is made to recover that last losing trade. This type of softwares win a lot, but it can give you anxiety, especially before you go to sleep. If you in this much drawdown, you got to go to bed before work in the morning, and you trying to sleep, and you know all the dang trades are open, and it can give you anxiety, right? Look, it's taking all those trades, and this can happen, right? That's why I've seen a lot of people like who like manage PAM accounts. They use recovery softwares, and they're like, man, it hit, news hit, and we forgot to turn the software off. If you got to do all that, that's not real automation, right? And this could lose, it could blow the account, right? Right now, we are negative $430, $500 on a $2,000 account, and it could blow the account or it could win, right? But why would you want to put yourself in a situation where You got this many trades open. I would rather just, I don't know about you guys, I would rather just win or lose the trade. I don't care how often I lose. I might lose 3 trades in a row, fine. But if you, I do offer softwares like this. If you want something like this, I don't recommend it personally. And I got people who've been using the pip machine for years, right? I don't even use the pip machine anymore, but I made a lot of money with it. But it takes a lot of management, knowing like, you know what? When it gets this far down, let me just close my trades and let it start all over, or so forth. So now I want after let's see if we can close profit before we or it blows the account, and then I'm gonna show you how Prodigy takes the trades. If it let's see if it ever. So this can give you anxiety. Like, please just close the trade. Like, who wants to live like that with automation, right? And so let's see when to close the trade, and then it's finally going to look. We're in some profit, and don't ain't that crazy, right? Like imagine this anxiety. You want to close the trade right here as soon as it start doing something. Now like we're negative. Oh wait, so it blew our money, right? Why would you want to do that all day? So now let's look at how Prodigy trades. Um, right here. Or maybe it's this one. Yeah. So Prodigy, like I said, I got full training on how it works. I choose GBP JPY when I have it trade on the live account, demo account, or any account. And so I do the same thing with back testing. So for those who don't know how to back test Prodigy, you just go to view, strategy tester, and then you pick the bot, and then you pick the symbol, GBP JPY. If you don't see it, you can right click, show all. You choose the 1 hour chart, you can choose the time. So we already seen what it did between this time and here. So it makes 700 bucks. So I'm going to pick a different time. I'm going to do the whole year. But I'll let you guys, if you want, you can tell me what you want to risk per trade. Now you want to do 1%, 2%, 3%, 10%, 5%. If just let me know in the chat box or a voice. What would you want to risk per trade just to see how it does? We'll do a 2,000
2%,
account. How much?
2%.
2%? Okay, we'll do 2%, $2,000 account. So 2%, for example, guys, on that means that it's going to look at the balance and it's going to say, look, I'm going to make a lot size to lose 2%. We'll keep it at max trades 3. I'll answer any questions about the settings after as we're watching it. Let me see what else. And I'll go over any other settings, but we'll just keep it simple for now. USD JPY. This is where it chooses the symbol. So even though I put it on the GBP JPY chart, any symbols you put here, you can even backtest multiple symbols at once. So I can say I want to do GBP JPY, Euro USD, and they'll backtest all 3 of these together and trade them together. So it made it really easy to backtest multiple pairs if you ever like messing around. But we're gonna do USD JPY 1 hour chart on the GBP JPY chart. We're gonna have it trade all day, and we say we're gonna risk 2%, right? So that's 2%, and we'll hit start. Now, wait, I forgot to change the date. I said we're gonna do it from the beginning of the year this time. Oops, I didn't want to go that far. I don't suggest going super far because it's like the data starts getting saturated. But let's just start. So let's look at the difference on how this trades though. So let me see. Go use the JPY. You want to click that? I'm going to change up the chart once it starts. There it goes. So let's look at. I don't know why, guys. Don't blame me for this. I don't have it here. So look, it one of those 2 trades. I was hoping it was going to lose the trade, but it can lose and win. Let me see if I can. And you notice it's going to use a stop loss or a take profit. I'm not sure why it's not showing the trade on this one. Let me see. Oh, there it goes. So had to get some time to catch up. So as you can see, it has a stop loss and take profit. It can take multiple trades, but every trade has a stop loss and take profit. It's not trying to hold the trade on and it wins or lose. So like, just look at this. Some of you guys some people might come in and they might lose this many trades in a row. I can't control when the bot's going to lose and win. But then, it can go back and forth and win and lose. Then it can win this many trades in a row, right? You never know what it's going to do because you never know what the market's going to do. But one thing you know is going to always be protected. So it's going to win or lose. It's basically just a set and forget buy. It can win and it can lose. And right now it's at 586 already. So it's going to just win and it's going to lose. This is 2% risk per trade. So this is a great buy if you want something that you can set and forget. You can do any risk you want to do per trade. Some of you guys might want to do 5% per trade, 3%, 10%. It's whatever, right? It's kind of up to you. But I said it's gonna win and it's gonna lose, as you can see. So if you're looking for something where you can just set and forget it, you don't have to worry about it blowing your account like the pit machine did, and it's going to just keep winning and losing, then this is the kind of like the perfect software that you can set it up. So let me see something. All right, so yeah, let me look at some of the chat while we're doing it. Yeah, at first it's wild realizing that a strategy can win 4% accurate and still get good returns. Oh yeah, so that's the thing. Like, if you just don't mind losing, again, it's like, see, this is how you lose. If you lose, there are people who trade like pit machine where they're just trying to win every trade, and then this happens. Has anyone ever traded like that where they took like 5 or 6 trades and they was trying to make it work, and next thing you know, they're like in deep drawdown, hoping to turn around, right? Versus they wish they placed a stop loss, and this is 2% risk per trade. This could have been if we and again, this is the kind of software where you gotta be patient with it. I know some people aren't, some people can probably cancel when they lose 3 or 4 trades. It can be used on prop firms. I don't suggest putting it on Paradise. I'll just put it on a better prop firm that you can just let it win eventually. Maybe you want to risk more per trade for your challenge, and then like Sway or E8 markets or whatever, and you can use a copier. I got training in the back office on the copier and have a copy to the prop firms. I want to use the Paradise mainly because I've passed prop Paradise with so many people that you don't want to be the person. They might flag you for copy trading. And these prop firms, if they can prove it, they will easily try to flag you for something like that because they don't want you having identical trades. So it's not that bad on regular prop firms, like if you're doing a regular prop firm, but like HFT prop firms, they're really strict about that. So I personally wouldn't put it on Paradise. I'll put it on any other firm. And I don't like to recommend firms because I always like people just find your own firm. It's using stop loss, so it works on any firm. And so you don't have to worry about like if you're gonna not work for certain firms. But as you can see, guys, it's doing this thing, and again, it's gonna have losing streaks, winning streaks. And here's the thing: if the fact that it can have winning streaks for 1 to 2 is even hard for a lot of people who trade manually, right? This has losing streaks, winning streaks with a 1 or 2. Heck, I had a winning streak. I don't think I even lost any trades this month. No, I didn't lose any trades this month actually. But I don't mind losing trades also. I was actually looking forward to losing some trades, like at least 1 or 2, so I can show people an example. But I was personally using it for prop firms myself at first, and I wasn't even going to sell the software. It was just me and my friend. But I said, you know what? I'll just sell it, sell it for something cheap. But $99 a month. I ain't gonna do too much. And then people in the VIP can just keep it who already joined earlier. But I wasn't even gonna sell it because I was gonna just put it on a whole bunch of prop firms and just make money that way. And I was like, I really don't want to compete with people with my own software. I said, you know what? I ain't trying to be on every prop firm anyway. Plus, most people are gonna probably just use it for their personal account. But like I said, if you are going to use the prop firms, I'm not going to give you a suggestion. Just you got to do it yourself. I'll show you how to put it on there if you find your own. But look, one of these in a row. It's hard to do that on a definitely as a man trading. It's even hard. But I guess y'all kind of get the point. So does anyone have any questions about the settings or anything? I'm open for questions now on settings or how it trades or anything that you have as far as the automation. Let me know. You can open up your mics. Question, please. Yeah, y'all can just open your mics up. When I'm not talking and y'all have a question, y'all can just open your mics up and just talk. I'm not so you just open the mics up. I'm here to answer any questions you have. There goes the
So
double.
just for clarification, so whenever it says buy, that would be a yellow to green, and when it's sell, it would be a yellow to red. Correct?
Nah, that's just using the indicator. It's just a part of it, but it's not using that strategy I taught you. It has its own built-in similar strategy. Now, I
Mm.
do have a Prodigy version that's going to be adding certain things. I just didn't release it yet because I this version is still more profitable. I haven't really so even though the other one trades more often, but I'm like I can't please everybody obviously, but I would rather just have a less is more automation than just to please people who got to see a trade every day or every week because I'd rather give people something that's going to be profitable than trying to appease to everybody that wants to see a trade every day. So I do have something that's coming out like that. Maybe one day I have the coding for it. I've been doing it. I'm just still kind of working on making it where it can trade a lot and still be profitable like this. And the crazy thing, this is like, even though this is right now, we're almost at what, 200% off of a 2% risk. So there you go, 200%, 2% risk. Didn't take a billion trades, but it still got the job done. And
Was
you met
that
like,
for a year? Was that
yeah,
for a year?
yeah. So 200% return off of a year, off of one pair. So you can do 3%, 4%, 5. If you did 5%, you probably have made just do 5 times that prop, no, a little bit more, well, you know what I mean. So you would have probably did like 15, 16,000, right? 17,000. So this is what I would tell people. Risk per trade, there are two ways to look at risk per trade. One, when you're trying to figure out what you should risk per trade, I do it based off of balance and I do it based off of my personality. So if I have a small balance, I would probably do like a 3 to 5% risk. Like if I got like a $500 account that I don't care about, I'll do 3 to 5% and just let it just run, whatever. It's because it's a small account and small. For a huge account like a $10,000 account, I'll do 1% risk per trade or less. The 10, 20, 30, $40,000 account, I'll do 0.5%. Like 1,000, 2, 3,000, I'll do like 2 to 3%. Right? So, you can do what you want. One thing I would say, you don't have to worry about blowing your account, but don't pick a risk per trade that you gotta like, you're gonna lose your sleep if it hits stop loss. So I know, cool, on a 3%, 5% risk on a $500 account, I'm not losing sleep over because I don't care about $500 anyway. But 5% on my $10,000 account, I would probably lose sleep over. Sleep over. So just think about anything that you risk, your profit is going to be double. If I'm risking 1%, I make 2% every trade. I'm risking 2%, I make 4% every trade. I risk 3%, I make 6% every trade. I risk 5%, I make 10% every trade. So imagine you get 5 trades in a row. You lose 5 trades in a row, you lose 5, 10, 15, 20, 25% of your account. You win 5 trades in a row, you make 50% of your account. So, oh, I did that wrong. Yeah, I did that right. Yeah, 50%. So 5% can be very aggressive, but very profitable, right? It just depends. Do you have any indicators less than 99 a month? No. I don't have any indicators for less than that. I just put everything in just one package. I already have it for now, like $75 a month for like next couple customers, but after that, I'm just gonna keep it at 99. But 75, it's 99 right now. 75 right now. Someone said one or two risk seems like all or nothing approach. Why don't set the EA to take a profit of multiple levels of trail? You can do that. Here's my thing. That goes back to my point. If you're scared to lose a trade. And I always tell people, you really got to work on that, right? Where you're so terrified. There's nothing wrong with locking your profits. Not saying that either. You can do that too. But is it the rise because you feel like a 1 or 2, it's all or nothing? That's not even that far away from each other. It's like just twice as far, right? So it doesn't really feel like all or nothing to me. I can understand it was like a 1 to 4, 1 to 5, but 1 to 2 is far fetched for all or nothing. And yeah, we can. I'll show you. We can do 1 to 2 so you can see what it looks like. And you can set it up like that, right? I just don't mind losing because I understand trading. Losing is a part of the process. And if you can't stomach that, it's going to be very hard to grow as a trader because you're trying to be perfect all the time versus just losing correctly. Now, am I saying you cannot trade using that? No, I'm not saying that. So there are two ways you can trade that, right? Do it like that. I have two type of ways you can lock in profits if that's what you want to do. So we have two type of ways. You can do it like this with the break-even filter. Say, look, whenever it gets 1 to 1, move my stop loss 5 pips and break even. Very simple. But let's say, for example, you are going for a 1 to 3 or 1 to 5. We'll say 1 to 5 just to make it fun. If you're going 1 to 5, for example, then you can do the break even feature that we just showed you earlier, where you set this to true, or you can do multiple break evens. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that, cool, hit true. You can say, hey, look, at my first TP at 1.1 risk reward, move my stop loss to break even and put it 5 pips above break even. Then at 2.0, move my stop loss to 2.0, I mean to 1.0 and put it 5 pips above that price, that 1.0101. Then at 3.0, so you can lock in profits multiple levels if that's something that you want to do. And I always tell people before you do it, just kind of back test it, like, and see how you like it, right? Obviously, back test doesn't indicate what's going to happen in the future or what's going to happen identical to the past, but it gives you a good idea. So you can do lock in multiple profits. You can even have it where, hey, look, instead of lock in profit at 2.0 and then 3.0 and then 4.0 and then maybe 4.5. So you can do it that way. But I'll just keep this default for now and we'll just see what it looks like. And I'll answer questions while we're looking at how it works. But let's say we just lock in profits at 1 to 1. So we're going for 1 to 2, the same way we did last time. But we're moving stop loss to break even. And we'll put our, well, how much I want to lock in profits for once it locks in profits? Like once a one, you want to do 5 pips, 10 pips, 15 pips? What do y'all want to do? Or the person who told me they wanted to do, what would you want? What would you do if you was in this situation? Would you want to lock in pips at 10 pips once you hit 1 to 1 or 15 pips, 20 pips? What would you what would you like to do? And let me see. Let's see, they haven't hit me back yet about it. I'll just put something for you then. You can't figure, you're trying to figure it out. Let's do we'll do 10. I think 10 is a safe spot. So you start, let's just see, and then you can always just mess around with the settings and hit true, start, pick your dates. And I got full training on how to do that, and I'll show you what to find in a minute. But while we're waiting for that, does anyone have any questions for me regarding the automation? Regarding anything about the automation, the settings, risk reward, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, etc. Let me see. So we'll look at it like this instead. So does anyone have any questions for me? You can open your mics up.
Hey, what's going on? I see you have a couple of JBP uh pairs. Is that what works best with it? Or JPY, I mean?
So how a bot works is it only you put it where um where's it at? You put what pairs you want to trade right here. I just happen to like put it on the chart GBP JPY, but what you put it on has nothing to do with what it's trading. So you don't even have to have it. I made where you don't even have to put it on multiple pairs. And I did that because I didn't want you slowing your VPS down. You put all the pairs you want right here, and you put a comma between them. So if I want to use JPY and Euro JPY, I'll put USD JPY, comma, Euro JPY, and it'll trade both of them on the GBP JPY chart without even touching the GBP JPY chart, if that makes sense. But it doesn't, that's not actually trading GBP JPY. The only reason these keep popping up, I just probably because I'm back testing, so it always pops up around a random chart when I'm doing that. But let's look at this back test so far. So yeah, see, it's not doing terrible. I'm not against the break even. I just don't mind winning and losing trades. Can you use this with futures? This is a Forex spot, so you can't use it with futures. See, let's look at this. It's sell right now, right? So once it gets 1 to 1, if it gets 1 to 1, hopefully it does. We can see an example. Let's see if we can see an example. Looks like it might lose. Wish it go a lot faster so we can see if it's going to hit it or not.
Do you have this for MT4 also?
Nah, we just got strictly MC5. Oh, and by the way, guys, sometimes just so you know, it closes the trade early sometimes if it thinks that it's going to turn around. So look, it closed it right here early before it even hit stop loss or take profit. So just in case. But now I have it only on MT5. So let me see if it just like let's see if it can hit break even. Let me see. Because I know we didn't actually look at any of the trades when it took it. I probably should just put one trade at a time so we could have seen how it looks. But I wanted to see the result difference also. So right now, so like let's see if we can do that this time. So once it gets like 1 to 1, if it doesn't close the trade over to a stop loss, like it's moving the stop loss, but it's so hard to see because it's like it's so fast. It's kind of hard to see. What time frame you traded with? We traded with the 1 hour chart. See, there we go. I hope y'all got to see that one. I probably should have paused it so you can see. Let's see. It's goes so fast. I was looking for like a super wide trade. But um, but yeah, it trades on the 1 hour chart. I have it trading USD JPY mainly. I do got people who are trading it with let me see, maybe this can finally give us an example of when a lot, well, I mean, it gave us a lot of examples, but where I can actually see it. Okay, let's keep going, keep going. There we go. So as you can see, move stop loss to break even. And this is 10 pips. So obviously you can do more if you wanted to, like 20, 30. But remember, your stop loss is different every trade, so it's kind of hard to gauge, what it's gonna look like. But I'll keep playing for now. Any other questions about the software? And that's gonna either stop loss or take profit. Any others? Again, this is if I don't know when it's gonna take a trade or when it's gonna go on the winning streak or losing streak. This is for people who want to set and forget without and they don't have to worry about blowing their account. And of course, they can use the indicator if they want, or they just want something they're just chilling with. They're good. Let me see if I missed any questions. It looks like I haven't. Cool. Any other questions for me while we're letting this thing roll and compare? We're gonna compare the break even. And I know someone why don't you enable news filter? Um, I just don't see the point in news filter for a stop loss bot because it can go either way anyway and just stop you out or hit you and take profit really, really fast. So, why not just run it on news? Now you can use news filter. I don't personally use it. I just don't see the point. News filter is good for people who use recovery softwares because if you have like a huge news drop this direction and you have a buy, you are going to be in deep drawdown. But if you have a huge news thing and it goes this direction for Prodigy, it just stops you out. But if you have a sell for recovery buy, it goes from here to here and it takes you out. So you have zero benefit from it. But if you have news and you go for 1 to 2 and it just drops on you for TP, you won that. So it's only a benefit because it's moving super, super fast in your direction. Or not in your direction, it just closes you out. So I like news for Prodigy because I have a 1 to 2 risk reward. Any other questions for me? Is this 1 to 2 the most profitable? Good question. So no, from my back testing and for my friend him testing, doing it actually in the live test, 1 to 3 has been the most profitable. I just don't tell people to do 1 to 3 because I obviously know how people are, and they they lose like 4 or 5 trades. They're like, man, I ain't doing this no more. So I try to give them more. I try to give them something that can win a lot, but still be profitable without the win a lot. And it can even win. It can be profitable off of 1 to 1 also. I'm not going to say it can do 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5. I've seen it be profitable on all 5 of them. 1 to 1, all the way 1 to 5. But 1 to 1, you're going to win more, but you're going to make less profit overall. And you got to catch up with like, for example, I like when I win so much. For example, I win 10 trades, I have to lose 20 to 25 trades to catch up. But if I win 10 trades on a 1 to 1, I only have to lose 10 trades to break even versus 20 trades. So I'm more of a patient person. See, what happens with recovery trades and 1 to 1 setup or scalper bots or scalping trading, it feeds this thing in your brain where you feel like a great trader or you feel like this thing is winning a lot because you see wins. But winners don't mean good trading. Just because you win a lot don't mean you're profitable. You can win 90% of the time and still be 90% down in your account. So why does winning matter if you are losing overall? So that's so yeah, it can do one. I've seen 1 to 3 did really, really well though. I'm not gonna lie. It was crazy. It does trade GBP JPY actually, the pair too good. My friend, he does it with 1 to 5 with no break even. Just 1 to 5 completely. Me personally, I just don't teach people to use it like that because I tell people just find your own settings. Plus, I just know people, and most people can't stomach losing enough trades for a 1 to 5 setup. But you got to think about it, if you win 2 or 3 1 to 5 setups, you will have to lose a billion times just to catch up. But most people don't have that in them. And I don't want to even talk about it. I'll tell you about it, but I don't teach it off rip on the training because people just ain't used to that type of trading. A lot of people are used to scalping. A lot of people used to MLMs where they teach you crazy nonsense, turn $100 to $100,000 by doing this. And so, okay, it's not doing too bad. It's okay. But any other questions? And you guys can do the same kind of back testing, obviously. Cool. So it made $1,600, right? Is gold too volatile? Is the 1 hour time frame also ideal? I think it depends on the currency pair. So like with gold, it can trade gold. That was one of the first pairs I had trading at first because I wanted people to see trades a lot and be profitable. But I was like, you know what? When I really wanted to roll it out, I was like, I really don't feel like carrying the people who need this trade fixed like drugs, but they gotta see a trade or they're not or they didn't shoot up enough. So personally, I just don't. I can trade gold, and I actually have a set file for gold. Like if you upload it, let me see. I think I probably let me see if I can go. All right, let me see if I can find it. Like if I let me see. Let me look at the gold real quick. If I bring up gold, let me just save it to my desktop. Gold. I'm not gonna be sitting here looking at gold all day, but I'll kind of show you what it looks like. So if I wanted to upload gold, this is the settings I had for gold. Now I don't do it on gold, but I put it on the 5 minute settings for gold. And so for gold, 5 minute chart. And I don't have it trade throughout the day. If you notice, there's a time filter on. It trades from 16:30 to 19:30. That's 9:30 to 11:30. So it doesn't trade all day. Don't put no 5 minute chart when you're testing any pair trading all day. I haven't used the JPY 1 hour because it can trade all day. So here's the issue with trying to figure out pairs. You got to figure out what pair, what time it trades good, what time frame it trades on, what time does it trade good on, what session. And I got trained on the settings anyway, but this would be like gold where you can if we did let's say do 2% on this too. Like I'm not about to watch this all day, but I'll watch it while we answer questions. But it can trade gold, sure. I just don't. I always tell people this: it's automation. So I'll be thinking like, if it's automation, who cares what trade? It can be trading any pair, as I'm not taking a trade and I'm not looking at it, so I don't care what it's taking. It can do anything it wants. It can trade you AUD USD, but all I care about. But the 5 minute chart is a lot more sporadic, obviously. I haven't even looked at the 5 minute chart, but it only you notice it's not trading throughout the day. It's only going to trade 9:30 to 11:30 based off that set file. But does anyone have any other questions while we're looking at this? If not, I'm going to let you guys go in a minute. We've been on here for about an hour, so I don't like to stay on too long. But this is gold right here if you wanted to see how gold trade for the 5 minute chart. So it doesn't trade, but 9:30 to 11:30. Um, Again, you're going to have a lot more losses because it's a 5 minute chart, obviously. But that's if you want to go that route and demo that route or go live that route, totally up to you. But I don't put gold in the 1 hour. I don't. I haven't done a lot of testing on it, but I just didn't really like it personally. But again, I'm not God, so I haven't really tested every single thing the Prodigy can do. There might be some golden setting out there for Prodigy I have no idea about. Go for it and find it. You got the same strategy tester I got. But me personally, I just keep it simple. Does anyone have any questions? Any other questions? If not, I will let you guys go. Any other questions? And yes, this is recorded. I'll upload to the YouTube channel and just send it out for those who want to watch the recording. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions? If not, let you guys go. I appreciate you
I got
guys
one.
hopping on. Oh, go ahead.
I got one, Brandon. I've been out the loop for a while. Where could I download this to have it on my computer? instead of using a virtual server?
Right here. Let me see what this is doing so far. Okay, so $300. Not bad, not bad. But let me see. If in the training on fxsocial.com, if you go to settings automation and you go to setting up software and download software, it tells you how to just download to your computer. And here's the downloads right here. And
Perfect.
I even,
Appreciate you.
no problem. I even show you how to set up a free VPS for people who don't want to spend $30 a month. But if you got the money, then you can just pay the $30 a month. It's just really up to you. Everyone's different. Some people got their own VPS. I try to give everyone everything just in case so they can have options. But cool. Any other questions? And again, look, see, Go's not terrible. It's just that I don't know. I don't know. I just like to keep things simple. Like, so if you wanted to run gold, so for those who, I know this is probably another question people want to ask. If you wanted to run gold, you would need to add, and you would have to add it twice. So I know I said you can add them on both ones, but these are both on two different time frames with two different settings. So you would add like Prodigy on one chart, do the same for USD JPY, add Prodigy on a 5 minute chart, whatever pair you want to do for 5 minutes, and then do your goal settings, but you don't want to put them on the same thing when they're different settings. So you only do multiple charts when you have different time frames or different settings. So hopefully that makes sense for those who might have that question. So as you can see, it's going to win and lose, but I mean personally, I just don't see the point. I just USD JPY, there's other pairs. I just don't, and it might be a gold setting that you can find, but gold does decent, but it's not terrible, but it's not like. As you can see, 5 minutes is too sporadic in my opinion. But cool. I guess there's no more questions. If not, I will let you guys go. I appreciate you guys for hopping on and being active. Um, Happy New Year's. I'm just gonna let you know right now. I'm not sure if it's gonna take a lot of trades this week. I didn't even think it was gonna take any trades in Christmas, but this week is like a lot of news, a lot of stopping the markets. So I wouldn't expect any trades. If you do, you might get one or two, but I wouldn't expect it because it's the top of the year. So just give it a little time. But you've seen what it can do on USDJPY. If you just let it do its thing, you should be good. So cool, guys. Oh yeah, and New Year's is yes, right around the corner, right? But cool, guys. I'll see you guys later, and y'all have a great night.